6 people were killed and several more wounded when at least one gunman opened fire Monday at the Naval Sea Systems Command headquarters, the Navy said. Washington Metropolitan Police Chief Kathy Lanier said one shooter was dead and that police were searching for 2 more possible shooters. She said one officer was shot in an engagement with one shooter. One shooter is deceased, she said. We have multiple victims inside who are deceased. We potentially have 2 other shooters who have not been located. Lanier said police are searching for a white male wearing a tan military-style uniform with short sleeves, a military beret and a handgun. Police are also searching for a black man around 50 years old wearing an olive drab military-style uniform and carrying a long gun, Lanier said. She said there was no evidence that the suspects were military members. A federal law enforcement official said authorities were investigating the possibility of other shooters, but there was no immediate evidence beyond a single assailant. Media outlets including CBS and the Associated Press, citing the Navy, said the number of dead had risen to 6. Major Ed Buckland, the public affairs chief for the Navy Installations Command, earlier had tweeted 4 killed and 8 injured. He also tweeted that reports of more than one shooter had not been confirmed. Janice Orlowski, chief medical officer at MedStar Washington Hospital Center, said the hospital was treating 3 victims, a male DC police officer and 2 women. She said the police officer had multiple gunshot wounds to his legs and was in surgery. One woman was shot in the shoulder, and the other in the head and hand. All are expected to survive, she said. The hospital has been told to expect additional victims, Orlowski said. We're pretty darn experienced at this. Rick Mason, a program management analyst who is a civilian for the Navy, said he was at the Navy Yard when a gunman began shooting from a 4th-floor overlook in the hallway outside his office. He said the gunman was aiming down at people in the building's cafeteria on the 1st floor. Mason said he could hear the shots but could not see a gunman. Mason said overhead speakers tell workers to seek shelter and later to leave the building. Patricia Ward, a logistics management specialist, said she was in the cafeteria. I heard 3 shots, pow, pow, pow. 30 seconds later I heard 4 more shots. Then panic, as people tried to get out of the cafeteria. A lot of people were just panicking. There were no screams or anything because we were in shock. The first news broke with the Navy reporting on its Twitter feed that there was an active shooter at Building 197 at the Navy Yard, and that 3 shots had been fired as 8:20 a.m. ET. The White House, in a statement, said President Obama was briefed several times about the unfolding situation at the Washington Navy Yard by Assistant to the President for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Lisa Monaco and Deputy Chief of Staff Alyssa Mastromenico. James Killingsworth, a Mason from Frederick, MD, was working on rebuilding a historic wall about 100 yards from the Navy Yard entrance when he heard 2 gunshots. If there were any other shots, he said, they were immediately drowned out by wailing sirens. Everything they had, Secret Service, federal police, everyone came speeding down the street. I've never seen so many police in my life, he said. Scary morning. Flights at nearby Washington Reagan National Airport were disrupted, with all departures temporarily halted at the airport. The Navy Yard is located on the banks of the Anacostia River, a few blocks from the Nationals baseball stadium. It's in an urban area where the development of new parks, shops and apartments has been ongoing. The Washington Nationals baseball team had not determined whether Monday night's game against the Atlanta Braves would be played. A parking lot at Nationals Stadium was being used as a site for families seeking to reunite with loved ones who work at the facility. The headquarters is the workplace for about 3,000 people. The Sea Systems Command is responsible for engineering, building, buying and maintaining ships, submarines and combat systems for the fleet. The Sea Systems Command is the largest of the Navy's 5 system commands, with an annual budget of nearly $30 billion.